Daily Bible reading, 1 Kings chapter 18, verses 25 through 46. Elijah said to the prophets of Baal, "Choose one bull and prepare it first, for you are the majority. Invoke your God by name, but apply no fire." They took the bull that was given them, they prepared it and invoked Baal by name from morning until noon, shouting, "O Baal, answer us." But there was no sound, and none who responded. So they performed a hopping dance about the altar that had been set up. When noon came, Elijah mocked them, saying, "Shout louder. After all, he is a god. But he may be in conversation. He may be detained, or he may be on a journey, or perhaps he is asleep and will wake up." So they shouted louder and gashed themselves with knives and spears, according to their practice, until the blood streamed over them. When noon passed, they kept raving until the hour of presenting the meal offering. Still there was no sound and none who responded or heeded. Then Elijah said to all the people, "Come closer to me," and all the people came closer to him. He repaired the damaged altar of the Lord. Then Elijah took 12 stones, corresponding to the number of the tribes of the sons of Jacob, to whom the word of the Lord had come. "Israel shall be your name." And with the stones he built an altar in the name of the Lord. Around the altar he made a trench large enough for 2 seahs of seed. He laid out the wood, and he cut up the bull and laid it on the wood. And he said, "Fill 4 jars with water and pour it over the burnt offering in the wood." Then he said, "Do it a second time." And they did it a second time. "Do it a third time," he said, and they did it a third time. The water ran down around the altar, and even the trench was filled with water. When it was time to present the meal offering, the prophet Elijah came forward and said, "O Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known today that you are God in Israel, and that I am your servant, and that I have done all these things at your bidding. Answer me, O Lord, answer me, that this people may know that you, O Lord, are God, for you have turned their hearts backward." Then fire from the Lord descended and consumed the burnt offering, the wood, the stones, and the earth, and it licked up the water that was in the trench. When they saw this, all the people flung themselves on their faces and cried out, "The Lord alone is God, the Lord alone is God." Then Elijah said to them, "Seize the prophets of Baal, let not a single one of them get away." They seized them, and Elijah took them down to the Wadi Kishon and slaughtered them there. Elijah said to Ahab, "Go up, eat and drink, for there is a rumbling of approaching rain." And Ahab went up to eat and drink. Elijah, meanwhile, climbed to the top of Mount Carmel, crouched on the ground, and put his face between his knees. And he said to his servant, "Go up and look toward the sea." He went up and looked and reported, "There is nothing." 7 times Elijah said, "Go back." And the 7th time the servant reported, "A cloud as small as a man's hand is rising in the west." Then Elijah said, "Go say to Ahab, hitch up your chariot and go down before the rain stops you." Meanwhile the sky grew black with clouds. There was wind, and a heavy downpour fell. Ahab mounted his chariot and drove off to Jezreel. The hand of the Lord had come upon Elijah. He tied up his skirts and ran in front of Ahab all the way to Jezreel.